culture. Suck it on the white meat, hope it's clean. Hope they use some seasoning. And these bitches fix me clean. Want you to buy me some Tiffany. This is just for the time being. I'ma get back to my king. That's my black African king. Dick so long his dick could reach. Dick so long my mouth can't read. So I just suck on the tip. Let his cum trip on my tits. I just like to talk my shit, but I can talk about some shit. People starving out in Yemen. Really hope there's a God in heaven. Really hope these people save them. They be roasting our black men. They be killing our black men. You see how I just changed the topic? I swear I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to find a way. Gotta take it day by day, even though
When I whip it out, girl, it's game over. You say you got a man, but I'm the closer. He don't treat you right, girl, he a poser. When I you down, girl, we feel closer. I put you on the table just like a coaster. You going up and down on me like a coaster. Damn ways a nigga be. Through the city, you should roll with me. Like Scooby-Doo, I find answers to your mystery. Tell your nigga he is history. He would be big mad if he found out what you did to me. Pulling around, this was meant to be. Got your body in line like it's symmetry. Geometry, the way your body angle when you riding me. Falling in your ocean, crashing waves as I'm diving deep. I know it's bad being so discreet, but tell your nigga he can't f with me. Matter of fact, he can't compete. I know you got it, man, but what that gotta do with me? You say he ain't been treating you right, girl. That's why you wanna mess with me. We can do it in the shower. We can do it in the car. I'ma pull my camera out and make you my movie star. Da 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 da. I wreck your boat like Aaliyah. We set up fireworks like Alicia. You my movie star like Lupita. I swiped your ass up like a Visa. You say I'm pure temptation, the one that you've been needing. As I do your body, I'll make your mind weak. Put your legs up on my shoulder, let me begin to feast. You say, when you with your man, you think of me. Fiending for because I fulfill all of your fantasies. I got your body right, loving you tonight. Your man done called your phone, but you press decline. You whisper in my ear, say it's yours tonight. You calling me daddy, you love it when I dive inside. You know what I like. Our playground is in between the sheets. And I love when you on top of me. And if you got a man, what that gotta do with me? But what that gotta do with me? What that gotta do with me? You say he ain't been treating you right, girl. That's why you wanna mess with me. We can do it in the shower. We can do it in the car. I'ma put my camera out and make you my movie star. Make you da 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 da. Be my movie star, star. I know you got a man that gotta do with me, do me. Be my movie star. Know you got a man, star. That gotta do with me. Do my movie star.
Good evening, guys, and welcome to Crown Confidential. Super excited to be here with you this evening. I am really excited about our guest who is in the building today. She's going to share a lot about who she is, what she does, and how to support you in your what's next. So super excited. So Alex, my sister from another mister, tell everyone about you and who you are.
What up?
What up?
Alex. So my name is Alex. I am founder, head healer, and mental health crusader of Refined Inner Being, LLC. It's my small business that is a stigma-free movement empowering individuals, schools, families, and organizations to cultivate self-acceptance, responsibility, and courage around mental wellness and generational trauma. And so what that looks like is I come in and facilitate a safe space where you guys have access to healing through storytelling, movement, and mindfulness. Yoga practices, mindfulness practices, self-care practices, you name it. I'm here to break the generational curses. So I am the vessel for that.
Yes, I love it. And we got Miss Ange from Tampa on the line.
Ba, 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 ba.
Hey!
Yes, I'm in the building. Hey, Alex.
Hey, girl.
Super excited to be.
What's up, y'all? How's everyone doing?
I think everyone is great.
Blessed.
Everyone is great. Everyone is doing. How about that?
All right, I feel that.
You feel that? So we're gonna just jump into it. Let's get into that story time mode. So Alex, story time is about that place in that time where that thing went down, right? I'm sure you got a story to hit us with, right? I spoke to Angie before. She said ain't nothing doing down there in Valrico, Florida, right? Ain't nothing but
it is cold today. It's a little chilly.
Ain't nothing but
It's a little
sun and
chilled.
cold. It ain't nothing but chilly is what, sis? Tell me, chilly is what?
I don't know. The Floridians say it's like chilly outside. It's
What's chilly? Give me a
degrees.
temperature. I need an exact temperature, sis.
It's like, let me see. What's the temperature today? Hold on. I'm going to tell you in just a second.
I cannot with you, because if you come at us with something, if you come at us with something that's 60 or 70, we're gonna go ape-ish on
It's
you.
cold
We just had a
outside.
winter storm.
It is so
No,
cold
today it was 50 degrees.
Aw, poor Ange. It was 50.
I mean,
just
it wasn't nothing for me. I didn't go outside, but, people walking around with jackets on and whatnot.
I mean, yeah, it's so funny because my aunt, God rest her soul, she didn't come to New York unless it was like summer, July or August. Because if it was anything under 80, she had on like a parka and a hat, and it's like, Didi, it's not that serious. And she'd be like, my bones. That's that Puerto Rico son. So Angie, you got Angie, Alex, you got a story time for us. I know you got a good story over there, something juicy cooking that you want to share with us, some juice, some details, and it doesn't have to be about the now,
Ooh,
right? But
some
definitely,
steak,
yeah,
medium
we would
rare.
love to hear a great story time for you because you are a great storyteller. So while she's over there thinking and I'm filling in the
Yes.
time, right? Because she's like, wait a second, story time, right?
Well, you say a story first, and then I'll follow with a story.
My story time is a little bit more dramatic. So I'll go into my story time.
Yes,
Yeah, ready for
please.
story time? So I had a near-death experience this weekend, y'all. I almost died. I'm not going to say how. I'm not going to say what form or what circumstances. But it shook me to my core. And I will say that part of me is still, I'm emotionally hurt. I'm spiritually hurt. I'm physically hurt. But I'm alive. And I never, I don't know. I feel like I've been taking life for granted for a little bit too long, sleeping in a little bit too much, making too many excuses, trying to fix things instead of just being in the being. And so this weekend I just had this epiphany after it happened, and I was just like, okay, now what? It happened and I wasn't even able to, I took some time to really focus on what am I really dealing with, the emotions I'm dealing with, and then in addition to the emotions that I'm dealing with, really thinking about how I've been in my life, right? If it all ended at that place in that time, was I okay with the mark that I left? Was I doing enough? And I really wasn't doing enough. I could have been doing more. And so it really, it took me for a loop this when it happened, because I said to myself, wow, self, you really haven't been doing enough. You've been doing, right? But you could be doing more. You know what you have in you. So it really elevated my platform. It really showed me that I'm in my purpose. And it also supported me in identifying, you got it. You got it all. Just put, you got all the pieces for the cake together, right? You got the eggs, you got the flour, you got the oil. Now put them together and actually bake it. And don't be afraid of what comes out when you bake it. Just bake it. Because people want to taste the dessert. They want to have dessert with you. But if you're not baking the cake, then what are you bringing to the table now? If you got all these ingredients, put them together already. Like, and I've been watching the ingredients, making sure I got the right eggs, got the right flour, got the right amount of oil. But then I keep checking that the oil's the right amount, and I keep checking that I have the right amount of eggs, and I keep checking that the flour is okay, instead of putting them together and putting them in the oven and seeing what comes out. So I think that I had a really big epiphany this weekend in the way that I get to move, and also who gets to move around me, right? Because I got real clear. I'm like, yo, I've been wasting my time with pa. I'm wasting my time following up with people that don't follow up with me, or that don't have a sense of what my time is and what my worth is. So it's exciting, right? It's a new me, but I'm not the same. And it was really eye opening. And so, like, for her going through it out there, who she may be like going through a a divorce, or she may be going through leaving in a situation that don't serve her, or she's moving on to something else. I'm here to tell you that life goes on. And you know, I always say this, and it's funny in the beginning, but like, when I was going through, it was like, but did you die? And I was like, no, you didn't die. So it's kind of like picking up your big girl panties, supporting yourself as best you can, and then moving forward and having grace with myself in that, right? So I think that a lot of what came up for me, I had a lot of aha moments. I have a lot of phone calls I get to make to let people know how much I care for them, but I also get to step back and watch the people that care for me really love on me and really be there to support my what's next, versus me chasing people. I was chasing a lot of people in 2019, and I still am chasing people, right, for validation or whatever it was. So I think that at the end of the day, the great part is I was able to really, like, I had one of those moments where I felt like I met God, and God was like, I'm going to leave you here because there's some more work for you to do. And I'm not going to take your life today, because he could have took my life, like, whew, he could have took my life easily. And so what came up for me was like, I'm not going to take your life. You have some more work to do, but get to it, and get to it now, because it's not going to happen. It may not end up being the way it was again.
Purpose.
Amen.
Like, I'm so glad you're here with us. You
Me
know,
too.
I think that you're here for many reasons. I can't wait till you read your car, because it's perfect timing. But it's purpose. And my story time is about purpose.
Story time.
And, you know, it's interesting because this journey of entrepreneurship is not easy. And it's been an up and down journey for me. I would say this week last week coming into this week, I was questioning myself. And I was questioning, like, you know, what the fuck am I doing? But I realized that wasn't my voice. That was noise from things that I experienced last week. That was the self-talk and the limiting beliefs that we have based on our belief system and how we grew up and what other people project into us or think that we should be doing at whatever age. And so, so currently I'm doing a 21-day Daniel fast, right? I don't want to get too detailed about that because it's really personal for me. But a Daniel fast is basically just eating solely fruits and vegetables. And fasting is really putting, like, your plate aside, is really putting things aside that you go to connect with whatever that thing is you're trying to connect with, whether it's God, whether it's to get clarity over situations, whether it's you're looking for a breakthrough, you're looking for something. I think it's I recommend that people do it, you know, whenever they get the chance to, and be really intentional about what that is, and also know that when you're fasting, you're going to get the answers that you need, and those answers you're going to bug the fuck out. Whatever it is that you get clarity to. And that has been my experience. I'm on day 15 of this fast, and it's extremely purposeful. And what I learned about myself during this fast is that no matter what happens, that I get to stay connected to my vision, and the noise that I hear is not real. Whether that's from my mind, whether that's from other people that are not connected to my vision or don't see my vision. My vision is always to inspire global healing. And, you know, a lot of people will jump on the healing baddie wagon and say, oh, I'm a healer, or I'm healing. Let's heal. But what they don't know is that healing is a process. It's a lifelong process. It never ends. And once you choose to heal, you will have breakdowns and breakthroughs as you're healing. And so I had a breakdown around some financial responsibilities. I thought I had it under control, but the breakdowns occur. And I'm human. And so I don't walk around here trying to be perfect. For those that know me know that I keep it real. And I don't go around bragging about what I have or what I don't have. But, you know, I went through some stuff and I got into a mess.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was pretty much transparent about the situation. And things took a turn. And I realized that, you know I'm being a little vague around it because I do want to keep it, I don't want to air anyone out. But I will say that, you know, when people say they got you, really pay attention to people's actions. And story time is that everyone that says they got you, everyone that says they're there for you, 9 out of 10 times that may not be always the case. And so, you know, I would say pay attention to people's actions and how they respond to you when you fuck up, right? Because I think that when you fuck up, people are so quick to, you know, judge you and jump on you and pull out your cars, right? Pull out your cars about shit that you've done in the past, or pull out your cars and tell you you ain't shit, or what are you doing, or whatnot. And so in this entrepreneurship, I have, you know, really lost a lot of friendships and a lot of things because people just don't get what I'm doing. They think that I'm out here lounging and doing nothing. And I think that when you are an entrepreneur, you have to work 50 times harder.
Yep.
Because you have to secure contracts. You have to, you know, network when you don't feel like networking with shady ass people. You know, you have to really put yourself out there in a way that, you know, exposes you to get what you really want. And, you know, the money, it comes and sometimes it doesn't. And, you know, you just have to have faith to just keep going and knowing that what you're doing is purposeful. And when when God gives you a vision and he places it in your heart, you have to go hard. You just can't stop, and you can't worry about what other people say. And so it's really hurtful when you think that people that are down for you bash you and break you down when you have a breakdown around something. And it's really hurtful when you acknowledge where you fucked up and you're creating a solution to make it work, and the person is breaking you down in the process because what you're saying is not enough for them.
Yeah, and I think that that's the piece too. It's like, you know, the world of entrepreneurship, you know, I was just talking about it on the Kim Dynasty show. You know, it's one of those things. I think we get to talk about that tonight, you know, the road of the entrepreneur. It's not what it looks like. It's not, you know, it's a lot of work, a lot of blood, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, a lot of releasing people. I think that's a big thing. And then also knowing yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's the big piece.
Yeah, knowing yourself is very big, because if you don't know yourself, the world will break you. And I have knowledge of self. And I think that's one of my saving grace, that I know my flaws, I know my good sides and things like that, and I'm able to still keep going regardless of what's going on. You know, I went through a phase where I felt like I wasn't being supported by certain people in my life when I chose to take this leap, right? But I realized it's not that they didn't support me, it's just that they can't identify with my experience because they're doing other things that have nothing to do with my purpose. Like, your purpose is yours. Yeah. You know what I mean? And once you discover your purpose, it's no longer yours, right? Yeah. So it's yours when you discover it, and once you discover it, it's no longer yours. And so you have to give your purpose and your purpose on this world to people that actually want it, and not expect that the people that are currently in your life wants it or is going to champion you on because of it. So I had to really kind of like deal with those motions of like, damn, why this person is not supporting me? Why these people think I'm really joking around when I'm really working hard? I'm really, really working my ass off. And so, you know, bottom line is that I went through a financial breakdown, and this is part of entrepreneurship. And not only if you're an entrepreneur, you can have a great 9 to 5, you can make however much money you want, and you still gonna have a breakdown. It's just part of life. Like, it's part of life. And I think that when those breakdowns happen, you know who your peoples are. You know, and people are gonna show grace and extend grace and favor to you when shit hits the fan. But what I learned and what I'm taking away from this experience, that at the end of the day, I got me and God got me. And God's going to always put the people in place that's going to have my back. And that really genuinely mean it. So if they are upset at me, fine, you can be upset. You can feel how you feel. But you will never once come out of character and bring my character down.
Don't come out of pocket.
Yeah,
I think that that's the
based
thing,
on
too.
that. And I think what I learned about myself is that I am not 2008 Alex. 2008 Alex is violent.
Yeah.
2008 Alex don't want to hear what you have to say because you're bashing me. 2008 Alex is like, what? So Alex now is just more like, I'm gonna hear you. I acknowledge where you at, and it's not being funny or arrogant. It's more like, I hear you. Hear me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And let's talk. You know, and let's come to a solution. If you're acknowledging something that you did that fucked up, what more do you want from that person that fucked up when they're already feeling shameful and guilty about whatever the case is? So I learned that at that moment when I had my breakdown, I felt fucked up, but I also knew that I can't allow anything to shake me.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I can't allow anything to shake me, and that I get to stay centered and grounded, and I get to move forward, and that I know that my purpose matters. You know, my purpose matter, and I know that at the end of the day, you may not like it or you may not understand it, but it is what it is. And also, one more thing, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that didn't go to college and that did go to college. And I also want people to know out there that whatever your purpose is, know that your purpose is moment to moment.
Yeah.
Like today, you may wake up and say, oh, today I want to be a superhero. And then tomorrow you want to be something else. There is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There is nothing in a guidebook that says that you have to complete college at a certain age, and that you have to be married at a certain age, and that you have to have an empire by a certain age. You know,
Right.
there are people out here that are in their damn 40s and 50s discovering their purpose now and making major impact.
Yeah.
And so whatever your purpose is, follow that, stay committed to that, and don't let no one shake your tree,
Yeah.
because they don't know who you are. Only God knows who you
I
are.
love that story time. Like, don't let anybody shake your tree. I
Yeah.
think that that's important. I think that that's the whole purpose of story time. Like, you know, we go through things on a daily basis, and we don't know how, like, you know, it's so easy for me to say, like, I remember I want to be in a relationship and I want him to look this way and be this way and act this way. I mean, not every day is going to be lilies and roses. Like, we're going to have our good, we're going to have our bad. I think that we're so busy masking the bad that we don't even know how to celebrate the good. You know what I mean? And I think that it's a great story time. I love that. And as somebody who, like, has, I will say, like, I, like, literally almost lost my life this weekend, and in that, I just discovered, like, there's certain things that I just do not need anymore. They're just certain, there's a lot of things that have been, like, you know, when you're coloring in the coloring book, there's certain areas that you don't have to fill in, that they're just naturally there. I just get to leave things and let them be. And people have been showing me who they are through their actions, because I'm not listening to what you're saying anymore. I want to see that you're going to show up to this event, show up to what's next, and show up to, you know, the things that I know that are going to support me, right? In addition, knowing that I've supported you, which is really great. I also want to say, we have a charity basketball event happening at the Barclays Center. The Barclays Center is being shut down Wednesday, the 22nd at 5 o'clock. We are in line and we are supporting our dear brother, Mr. Bernard Totten, with Varsity Customs.
Yeah.
The proceeds go to, some of the proceeds go to Hey They're Beautiful.
Hey.
It's going to be awesome. He said he has control of the DJ, so it's going to be 80s and 90s tunes, B-side all night. You definitely want to be in the building. It's really exciting. The tickets are like $20, I believe.
Nice. Definitely
Definitely come on down, bring a friend, tell a friend to bring a friend. I mean, imagine, like, we got the whole Barclays Center, so you know I'm gonna be running rampant in like the 300s just because. I'm gonna just sit in the 300 seats just because, with my legs all open and out, you know, yelling at the squad and you're in from the back. So really exciting stuff. You guys get to support us. So again, we're gonna get you all those details. Definitely follow us at Crown Confidential. We're gonna get into an old school DJ KK mix. We miss you, DJ KK. DJ Sable is out and about doing her thing. So supportive of her. So happy for her that she's out there doing her thing. So we're gonna get into this DJ KK mix. She's gonna hit us with some tunes, and then we're gonna be right back on Crown Confidential. And Angie's gonna hit you with some current events. We got some really powerful stories, and our topic tonight, you're going to want to tune in because I'm not even going to tell you the topic. You're just going to want to tune in because Alex is in the building. So I am Alex Tatis is here. IG, I am Alex, ALEXTATIS. I'm always putting my people on. We got Angie in Florida with her 50-degree weather. We see you, sis, right? And so we'll be back and we'll be live here on Crown Confidential. Stay tuned, guys.
Hey.
Look, my nigga, this is dedication. This is anti-hesitation. This a real nigga celebration. This a dime block declaration. 59th and 5th Ave, granny house with vanilla wafers. This the remedy to separation. Tupac of my generation. Blue pill in the fucking matrix. Red rose in the gray pavement. Young black nigga trapped and he can't change it. Know he a genius, he just can't claim it. Cause they left him no platforms to explain it. He frustrated, so he get faded. But deep down inside, he know you can't fade him. How long should I stay dedicated? How long till opportunity meet preparation? I need some real nigga reparations, or I run up in your bank just for recreation. Dedication, hard work, plus patience. To some more of my sacrifice, I'm done waiting. Told you that I wasn't playing. Now you hear what I've been saying. Dedication. Dedication. Look.
She ain't got no money in the bank. She be walking around acting all stank. And now she at the party looking at me. Hoping she can get saved by me. Looking at her like, I ain't tryna save that girl. I ain't tryna save that girl. I ain't tryna save that girl. She got her hand up, but I ain't tryna pay that girl.
What y'all wanna do? Wanna be ballers, shot callers, brawlers. Give me your number, I bet she gon' call ya. Come on, dog, she want you to spoil her. Christian Dior with them new Fendi bags. Anything is good, cause it's better than she had. She's sitting at the bar and she looking so sad. Talking about, I wanna ride in your jag. I wanna ride to your house. That's an easy chick, I fly to my house. I live so far, I think I live down south. Why don't you pull it out my paper, put it in, put it in, put it in.
She ain't got no money in the bank. She be walking around acting all stank. And now she at the party looking at me. Hoping she can get saved by me. Looking at her like, I ain't tryna save that girl. I ain't tryna save that girl. I ain't tryna save that girl.
So I be sublime. It's enjoyable to know you in the concubines. Niggas, take off your coats. Ladies act like gems. Sit down, Indian styles, you recite these hymns. See, lyrically I'm Mario Andretti on the Momo. Ludicrously speedy or infectious with the slow-mo. Heard me in the 80s, JV's on the promo. Am I never in the quest to get the paper on the caper? But now, let me take it to the queen side. I'm taking it to Brooklyn side. All the residential clusters who invade the air. Hold up a second, son, cause we almost there. You could be a black man and lose all your soul. You could be white and blue, but don't prep the road. See, my shit is universal if you got knowledge of Dolo or Del myself. See, there's no one else who could drop it on the angle. They're cute at that. So do that, do that, do that, that. Come on. Do that, do that, do that, that. Do that, do that, do that, that. I'm bugging out, but let me get back cause they're wetting niggas. So run and tell the others cause we are the brothers. I learned how to build bikes in my workshop class. So give me the sword and let's not make it the last.
Here I go again, girls. What's my weakness? Okay, then chillin', minding my business. Yo, so I looked around and I couldn't believe this. I swear, I stand, my niece, my witness. The brother had it going on with something kinda wicked. Had to kick it. I'm not shy, so I asked for the digits. I hope no, that don't make me see what I want. Slip, slide to it swiftly. Felt it in my hips, so I dip back to my bag of tricks. Then I flip forward tip, made me wanna do tricks on them, lick them like a lollipop should be licked. Came to my senses and I chill for a bit. Don't know how you do the voodoo that you do so well. It's a spell, hell makes me wanna shoot. Flip mode, outsiders, shit tight, down to the coochie, yeah, check it. And I say what's tight, cause the sister write rhymes all day and all night. Dwelling south of the Hudson, New Jerusalem, in seclusion, using fake pseudonyms. I'm true bad. Mine travels like a schizo on 2 tabs with do-rags hanging from my pockets. Need a rat fish to go back to pediatrics. Early less rappers like you was straight festive. So recognize, I make a nigga eyes come alive off of 525s. Disguise the camouflage. I shoot a virus out my spirals with mad priors for taking mad niggas' title. Wedded in a reservoir, lurking in the bushes, striking blows like Chesimar, codename Hassana. Warming in Obama, hotter than the region of Ghana. Get loot like that Trump bitch Ivana. Now, who be writing rhymes all night? Ride nigga in the house and my plans is tight. Peace to the ones that don't bite. Ride nigga in the house and my plans is tight. A black queen and best believe my black jeans won't say Paco. I swing to the Ville for some waffles and some beef falafel. Raspberry type liquor got me different. Dirtier than the overseas shipment of keys. I write these type butters, the creme de la gutters. Call me Shea Digger, sliding over loops like the A-Fig. Baby, I'm hard. Represent the feminist god that gets blunted. Watch rhymes running over. See me in the Camel Range Rover. Chop, and I won't stop for Jake and keep heat by the waist for those to play a hate. Now, show you the way to blow. Better than I tell you. Word to my beeper and my cell, you love. What? Polo curls, digging all the rapping shit like they go-go girl. Now, who be writing rhymes all night? Ride nigga in the house and my plans is tight. Peace to the ones that don't bite. Ride nigga in the house and my plans is tight. Who the tightest? I rock with laryngitis. Gold's good for Midas, but I want the highest. So don't try me, cause I'll beat a bitch. I swear. I leave it twisted like a thug with blonde hair. Yeah, I blow up the spot like Dennis Scott, go forward. Your chance of defeating me is morbid, cause I get to open like the coming of the pole. When I group shit tighter than a 3-piece suit. Peace to niggas I rhyme with. My outsider correspondence be more fluid than embalming. We pro, I decompose any rapper to the bone, down to their X and Y chromosomes. See my name tagged in bold or italic. Bow, cause I'll be the only one salvaged. Number one imported like Bex. Tighter than 3 or more heads in a CRX. Now, who be writing rhymes all night? Ride nigga in the house and my plans is tight. Peace to the ones that don't bite. Nigga in the house and my plans is tight. Now, who be writing rhymes all night? Ride nigga in the house and my plans is tight.
It was Friday night in the club, we got poppin'. 5-0s outside of the joint, they ain't stopping us. Boys keep clapping, the girls just keep dancing. Everybody get around the drinks. I got Patron in the cup and I'm doing the wop. Yup, my phone keeps ringing, but I'm hanging it up. Got my brand new dunks and please watch out. I best believe we gon' be throwing it up. And now, some of y'all saying the jeans, she ain't rockin' this. Rockin' shit, relaying she ain't paid a pocket since 94. I've been dropping this jaw, drippin' same spittin' name shit, I rock them all. I'm Oxycontin, watch me, I'll rock your box. Have you shook like you fighting MOP and Fox. I'm a rebel turned renegade, certified speller from 11th grade, iller than your favorite fronter. You're the front, stay shine like a summer morning. Reflect in the mirror like I'm so charming, man. I'm a darling, you can call me Nola, cause she's gotta have it, all the poppies Ola. Pop, you cola, son, I pop Ricola. Done, pop my throat, hot bombs, you quota. Then I pop my collar, hop and drop them dollars. Now holler if you think rate's not a problem, please. Genie, genie, genie. Now come on, she ain't a sucker MC, and you get beat down running your mouth, but all of y'all still doubt that she is super famous. Genie, genie, genie. Come on, she ain't a sucker MC, and you get caught out frontin' on G-Man. You know it's her that you wanna be. J to the EA, quite like a sport. End-to-end rhymes with meaning if you write a retort. I report facts, more More than the government extorts blacks, for sure ass. Yeah, I'll cover your poor task. I'm Andy and Shawshank, I'll chip away daily. I'm sticking up stores, not your typical lady. A THROW back queen. If the beat stay hard, I'm loving you track fiend. When you speak my name wrong out your mouth, how convenient a true producer make you sorry and bounce. Not Kareem Regina setting up a shop on your block.
Brandon, Florida, +1 813.
Welcome back to Crown Confidential. We have Alex, Angie. We have Miss Angie. We have the budget for the horn, sis. Like,
you keep telling me
like
that,
this,
and people don't want the horns; they want me.
Hey. Okay, sis. Okay, I'm gonna let you rock. So, we have I am Alex Statis here. We're gonna get into the current events. So, Ange, what's going on in the world? Talk to me.
So we got a lot to talk about.
We do, sis. I'm ready for the tea.
So, what's that?
I said we do, sis. I'm ready for the tea.
So let's talk about Prince Harry and the Queen, the former Duchess and Duchess of. Is it Dutch? Or is it Lord?
I think it's Duchess, but they keep their titles, so they're not former. Actually, they actually keep their titles.
Really? Because the last thing I read was they have to give up their titles.
They give up their role, but they will still be considered that.
Gotcha. Well, Harry finally spoke out, and so did the Queen. The Queen also spoke out for the first time, where she gave her approval for this move. She doesn't like it, but she understands with everything that's been going on why they're doing it, and she fully supports it for the sake of the family. And Harry said it wasn't something that they wanted to do, but it was something that they had to do. So, definitely happy to see that, they'll be in the, United States and Canada, so we'll get to see them a little bit more. But, big ups to Harry for standing up for his queen.
Yes. Ain't no party like a Meghan Markle party because a Meghan Markle party don't stop. Olay. Like, you know what it is? That's when you know that is how you know the caliber of a good woman.
Mm-hmm. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, when she's able to enroll her husband, who is the 7th heir, right? To say, hey, you know what? That's some Zamunda coming to America shit. Like, you remember when he was on the train and she was like,
I will give up my throne.
Yeah, he's like, you want me to denounce the throne? He's like, I denounce it. I am not king of Zamunda. Like, that's what Harry did. He did. That's what he did. So, but the thing is that he's still, like I said, if anything were to happen, he's 7th in line for the heir of the throne. Like, it's still, the thing is, I read up a lot about it. Well, not that I read, I just so happened to watch TV and it came up. But he's 7th in line for the throne. So if anything were to happen, he would still, they would still consider him, or he would still be king. It's not. But I think that he's making a solid move. He gets to live his best life. I don't know what it's like behind those curtains, but I know it's perfection. Because even like, y'all ever seen the wedding? Like how precise it is? Like that ain't happening at a Puerto Rican ceremony. Like for real. Not only is the limo driver going to be off time, but then people ain't going to have their hair done. People going to have attitudes. Like that, right? It started on
people
time.
People walking on the aisle drunk.
Everything going to be walking on the drunk high, right? But it's not, right? But it's this lifestyle where it really is the perfect patty lifestyle. That's the whole thing. And like even watching the wedding ceremony, the way that it's clocked, the way that they did not fumble a word. They practiced. It was like something that isn't just religious, but they're icons. And for me, I mean, I admire, kudos to her, love her for it. But him, like, I admire him like that. Like, he gets the invite to all the barbecues. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he gets the invite to all the barbecues. And I think that it's a testament to love. Like, what are you willing to do for love? You know what I mean? And what are you willing to sacrifice? And he just sacrificed and said, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. So I think that that's a beautiful thing. And I think that we get to share in that and allow them to, because, you hear, oh, but I wouldn't have done that. Listen, sis, you have no idea what she was going through on the back end. Yeah. It must have been a lot of long nights of crying and of going back and forth. Like, I don't think this was an easy decision. Because now you, like, come on, you got to tell the queen that you're not. So, queen, I ain't with the shits. You know what I mean? Like, having that conversation, I think that the great part is that it was honest, it was open, and everybody knows. So now we can all move on from it. Like, it's not a big deal for us, right? But for them, it's something really monumental. And I think it's a great legacy for his mom, because his mom didn't take any shit. And things happen the way that they happen with her. You know, there's a lot of conspiracy theories behind it. But at the same time, like, she stood up so that he could stand up. So I'm excited about that. What's the next one, Ange?
So we're going to talk about this clothing company called Comme des Garçons apologized for their models wearing braided wigs. A lot of people accuse him of cultural appropriation, and he said that, you know, that wasn't the case, that he got his inspiration from an Egyptian prince, and he, you know, didn't mean to cause any kind of drama, but he just was really inspired by it. The thing that makes people a little, you know, like it's not believable is that the black models that he had just had their hair braided, but all the white models had these crazy looking wigs on, like crazy. Their hairline was down to their eyebrows, like it was crazy.
What? I mean, listen, you know, it's not the first time that somebody's gonna take from us, and it's not the last. You know, the great part about it is that we have enough people with some sense to call them out on their shit, and then we can move on. You know, we either get to be the example or watch us be made a mockery. I mean, at the end of the day, listen, it is what it is. It's great that he apologized and he or she, they know what their era is. So we get to move on.
I just want to know why did the white models have braided wigs?
Like, it is just not, you know, you could just, if they had braided the model's hair or, you know, just do an extension like most modeling do, just put some weave in their hair.
Exactly.
But no, like, they had like a straight, it was like Milli Vanilli.
He probably had a vision.
I wish I could show y'all the picture.
Nah, he probably had a vision.
But it's like really Milli Vanilli looking. Like, it was to the side and down to their shoulders. Like, and it was matched. They had blonde ones. They had black ones. Like, crazy. On these very pale looking models.
Yeah. No, I get it. You know, people have different visions, and that's the vision that he saw. So, I mean, it is.
I guess.
Yeah. What's next, Ange?
So we're going to talk about the thousands that gathered in Virginia for the gun rights rally. So all the gun advocates and everything went out to Virginia to protest and show their support for the Second Amendment, because the Virginia state is calling for a change within that amendment. Now, you know, Trump is pushing this agenda and, you know, saying that this needs to be looked at, people need to stand up. But at the same time, law enforcement and FBI are getting reliable threats that there's going to be some violence at these rallies. And they're not allowed, they didn't allow any drones because they was afraid that guns would be able to be weaponized and, you know, it would become a slaughter.
Well, the thing is that we are a culture of killing people. That's our culture. Like, we did it during the Civil War. We did it when we came here and we said, oh, Columbus discovered America. We did it with the Native Americans that were here. Like, that's our culture. You know what? Let me kill. If I can't have my way, let me kill you. You know what I mean? Like, for me, whatever happened to a good old fist fight? You remember the fist fight? Like, meet me at the playground at 3:15.
Okay. That Michael Jackson, it's not Thriller. It's, Who's Bad?
Yeah.
Like, we gonna battle this out.
Yeah, like like, you know how Michael Jackson and even let's go way back. Okay, fine. So that's like 2090s, maybe the 90s. Let's not say 2000s, right? But that's like the 90s where we had a street fight, right? Now let's go back in the day where we talking about the 80s. They used to have dance offs. Right? I'm a dance by
Groove Street.
Yeah, but not only that, but like that was my parents' era, like 80s, even the 70s. That was the era of what? The Copacabana. I'm gonna go out hustle you, and I'm gonna go win this trophy, and then we're gonna go home. But there were no guns involved. And it's just a sense of violence where we're playing these video games, we're playing Call of Duty. We have drone attacks against people. I think it's just this culture of violence, and I feel like even the media wants to perpetuate that. Oh, we're not violent, but there's rallies about. Nah, let's move on. What's the next one? Because I'm going to get into a whole thing.
So this story is sad but funny. So Drexel University fired this professor for inappropriately using government funds. So this professor spent $185,000 of grant funding on strippers and sports bars.
See, this is the reason why. This is the reason why. I get really frustrated when people are like, I don't want to donate $5 to you, and in my mind I'm like, if you donate $5, you have no idea what that'll do to an organization like us. Then there are people who are like misappropriating funds who excuse me, who don't know what they're doing out there with these organizations, but they have all of this like I don't get it. And then the crazy part is right now in New York, this happened in New York, correct?
No, this was at Drexel University in Philadelphia.
Great. But if this were to happen in New York, they will go to jail and then get a ticket to come back. They wouldn't stay
Well, the thing is, he was in jail. He bonded out at $25,000.
Of course.
But it is going to trial, and if he gets convicted, he can be facing up to 15 years in prison. Because this wasn't, this was government funding. This was funding from the Army, funding from the Department of Energy, National Science Foundation, for whatever research that he was doing. And he was a very prestigious professor.
What nationality was he, sis? I need to know.
Oh my God. He looks black.
See, look, and this is the thing. This is the thing. If that happened in Philly with a different company, and it was for me, my experience. Let me talk about me. But I guarantee we wouldn't hear anything about it if it was like Bill in like, that worked for this. You know what I mean? I think that, wow. I mean, it's interesting. Hire people that you trust. Hire people that you know. Hire people, right? They tell you all of that. We don't know people until they show up. Makes sense? So, I mean, it is what it is. What's next, sis? Because you can't even get me started on this, on that topic, right?
So, let's talk about this here. In Puerto Rico, so we all know that there's been a lot of earthquakes that have been hitting Puerto Rico for the past month or so. So I guess they have a manager of emergency funds, and they found out that after finding a warehouse full of supplies from the hurricane relief when Hurricane Maria hit the island 2 years ago. So the man was immediately fired by the governor, and she placed a Major General Jose Reyes in his place. But the man that she fired, who is Carlos Avecito, is saying that those supplies that were there were expired, and he was not told what to do with them. So they just stayed there. But she's investigating the situation. The mayor is, the governor, I'm sorry. She's investigating the situation. She wants a turnaround of 48 hours to find out what the real story is. But any funds while the people are suffering is unacceptable.
That's unacceptable. That's disgusting. Like, how do you have a warehouse full of resources?
You know what's crazy is that the Puerto Ricans went to find it. That's how they found it. They found it because the people found it.
Yeah.
Like, that was Maria who told Carmen, who told Jose, who told... And they actually went up there to see what's what. This is the thing.
And I love it because they get to.
And
when the people come together and do things like that, that's when results are created.
Exactly. And I think that it's holding people accountable.
He said that, a lot of it was expired, but they found pallets of water. When does water expire?
And that's the whole thing. So I think that the great part about what's happening in Puerto Rico is that we're seeing the injustices. The sad part is that people are dying in order for the injustices to be exposed. So I'm not going to talk bad about my people. I'm not going to say anything. What I'm going to say is watch out for Puerto Rico, because if the government was smart enough, they would become independent and become a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate on their own and really use the resources that they have to reinvest. Because the thing is that Puerto Rico, because what people see is, oh my God, Puerto Rican nightlife, I'm gonna dance salsa underneath the stars. When it's like, no, bitch, if you go back to the campo and you go to the countryside, right? They don't have lights. There are people that are living there with no lights. There are areas of Puerto Rico that look like third world countries because they have not been developed yet. So if we were smart smart, we would be able to mobilize, right, our superstars, our Jennifer Lopez and our Mark Anthony's, to create infrastructure and power back there and really use the modern technology to mobilize and make sure that everybody got everything that they need. And then with this tourism money that comes in, okay, let's like quadruple our numbers and put it in the bank where we are now making money. Like, we're not strapped for money and we don't got to wait on quote unquote FEMA to release shit. Like, let's create our own government, because this is the thing. So long as they, and the thing is that I love the fact that Puerto Rico is a commonwealth, and I understand, you know, the Medicaid behind, I understand all of that. But at the same time, like, if you were really to get the people that really love Puerto Rico and all that is Puerto Rico involved and straightening out the government, saying, okay, this is what we need, this is the billions of dollars that we need, like, we will all come together like butt cheeks and make something happen. Like, we are the thing is that the Caribbean folk are resilient folk. A hurricane happens, what happens? We're sad about it for a day, but then the next day we go out, we clean, we make something happen. So I think it's just mobilizing the people who are able to add wealth in the most strategic way, not like Red Cross money, but like, okay, Fulana de Tal's money, what Maria's money is going to utilize for X, Y, and Z, and then hold the people in government accountable. Or let's not have any government officials. Let's take away your titles and strip away your money and get people who are advocates that we really know that are going to say, you know what, I'm going to stand for Puerto Rico. I'm going to volunteer my time, and this is what I'm going to do. And then we would be able to make it the country that it is. And for now, it's just as corrupt as any other country, and that's just something that happens. And I'm glad that the people were able to see that out. You know what I mean? I mean, the thing is that the marathon continues, the fight continues, because another hurricane will happen, another earthquake will happen, and so it's like, how can we manage these disasters that happen, and doing that expeditiously, you know, as quickly as possible, and as supporting the people as possible, so that they can get back to work and do what they want to do, because we are people that we want to work and we want to thrive, right? Don't hold us back from our money and from our thriving and from what's next, right? So I think that it's just really mobilizing our people and letting people go that don't need to be here. What's next, Andrew?
So the last story I got for you here is the impeachment trials are going to be undertaking. So on Thursday, the reading of the impeachment articles against the current president and the Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts were sworn in. The Senate, in front of the Senate, they signed the book so that they can start trials. A lot of people are saying that, you know, basically it's already a done deal, since 2/3 of the vote is required to remove the president, which would need 20 Republican senators to break rank, but they still have to go through the trial. And there could be a lot of things that pop up on the trial that could possibly change minds.
Listen,
so that's to start Tuesday.
Tuesday,
because I choose to say it like that.
I mean, you know, no matter what, I think that he has, like, if anybody know, he has less than 10 more months or whatever to be in government, or less than 9 months now to finish his tenure. So no matter what, he's still going to be in office. By the time this impeachment trial happens and we do everything according to the law and order of the United States, like, what are we looking at? August, and then he leaves. It's not like he's paying back money. It's not like he really didn't take anything. He started a war that he shouldn't have so that he can stay in office. Like, let's keep it 100. So I think that at the end of the day, it's great that we're doing that. Like, I feel like we acted too late. Like, the minute that this happened, the next day this should have happened. Like, that's it. We don't want you, or we already know who you are. But secondly, if we would have voted and if we came out and voted like we came out to get Jordans, look, the PlayStation 4 or the 5, what is it? We have the 4 is coming out, or the 5 is coming out, or something like that. PlayStation 5 gonna come out. Y'all gonna be around the corner. And on top of that, the PlayStation is coming out right around October, around the holidays. So don't get it twisted. The way that y'all stand in line for that, y'all get to stand in line for PTA meetings, because they're not even showing up to PTA meetings. So don't let me get started, because I will name districts and people of where y'all not showing up, and I will so put you on blast. Like, don't even let me get started. So if you ain't showing up for that, you definitely ain't voting. And if you not voting, you can't be upset with what's happening. So if you don't, I don't give a F if you got an I voted sticker. Like, great, you can use the same one that you used in 09 and 08 and 2010 and when you were with Obama. Nobody cares. But your vote doesn't matter unless you actually, like, where the people, like, the thing is that we got sweet 16s and quinceañeras and people are showing out 400, 500, 1,000 at a time. You tell people, they had like the experiment where the guy was like, he was giving away free money and he put it in like different places in Coney Island and like 1,000 people came out. Like, y'all showing up for money, but y'all not showing up for like your mom's money. Like, if you don't understand that your vote counts, oh, my vote doesn't count, it really doesn't matter, it's a conspiracy. Dumbass, it does count no matter where you are, no matter where you lie, because I know that my vote in particular, my vote was able to turn a predominantly red area to a blue area. Like, we were able to kick out an incumbent that was, I think he was there for maybe like 10 or 20 years serving. He was an old guy in the community, and we're able to turn it from predominantly Republican to a Democrat area. So if you don't think your vote counts, like, stop listening to us, because you're part of the problem. And I think that the bigger issue is that we don't mobilize together and we're always talking junk and it's me until you see that receipt on your taxes and you see that you're paying for things that are not actually coming to fruition or happening in the world. And then, like, that's the thing, like, we want to blame other people but not take responsibility for our own shit. Like, have a seat. This should have happened a long time ago. I'm not here to advocate. I'm not running for any type of office ever in my life. Never you worry, that's never happening. I will run for, I will buy an island and be the president of that island before I run for any political office here in the United States. I will say that we get to mobilize as a people, but we so busy sharing World Star videos and sharing stuff that we don't need to, that we could be really mobilizing our efforts. And like, I've been in the schools. They're more yucky and there's more weaves in schools than they are in the beauty supply sources. Like, we're so focused on the outward that we're not focused on the inward. And it's tiring. And at the end of the day, like, either you're about it, either you're part of the problem or you're part of the solution. So you get to figure out where you stand, because this time when we vote, we get to come out in droves. Not the way that we did with Obama. I'm talking about double that, because there's more of us there. And the great part is that, you know, people are going to see in the next 5 or 10 years when they see the landscape of the world and they're like, oh, there's no oxygen to breathe. Well, you voted somebody in who doesn't care about the environment. Yeah. So now you can't breathe, sis. So it's not my fault that you voted somebody in who doesn't believe in Medicare or Medicaid. And now, you know, you pumping oxygen into each other. There's no ambulances. There's no police department because you don't, like, you got to understand that there's more, like, I was talking to somebody the other day that was not attending high school, and I said, then don't go to school, because you can be the reason why the school closes. Like, you not showing up, you part of numbers. It's a numbers game out there, people. And if you don't know the schematics of the numbers game, like, they're taking over neighborhoods. And if you don't mobilize and take over the neighborhoods, somebody else is going to come and take it over that got more money than you. And they're rezoning areas and all that other stuff. Like, listen, people, I'm not saying read the paper or read the media, but really look around what's going, read the ordinances, read the stuff that's coming from your borough president's office, and really see what's happening. Like, when they're making, they're right now, there's a live vote going around probably about rezoning a school, and you're not there because you want to Netflix and chill and watch Love and Hip Hop, and they're about to take your kid out of the school that they're in with the 20 kids, and they're going to put them in a room with 40 people in a closet, and then you're going to be boo-hooing, cry because you didn't know no better. Like let's start to get real. Like, I get it. I watch my trashy shows. I do that. But at the same time, I'm out in these streets, and there are more people that care about your kids. And I'm in PTA meetings and I don't have no kids. Why? If there are 300 kids in the school, why are 30 parents showing up? And I will call you out. As a matter of fact, I could get names and socials and date of births of your kids crying to me because their parents don't come to PTA meetings and they're not serving. So, like, if you're either gonna be part of the problem or part of the solution in 2020, figure it out. And that's current events, Ange, right?
Yeah.
I thank you, Ange, for sharing the love. We're gonna get into a short DJ KK mix I'm really excited about, and then we're gonna interview Alex, and she's gonna talk about her what's next. Right? She's gonna talk about her what's next, when she fell in love with her her platform. And then, you know, we're going to tell some jokes with Angie. So definitely stay tuned. It's Crown Confidential, y'all. You guys want to stay locked in. We have a lot to share this evening. Don't move.
You out of line, but I'm wicked like it was on, and I'm the witch, but I'm the one from the east. You the bitches getting crushed and leaving no nigga feels. Come on, they call me Jeannie, Jeannie, Jeannie. She ain't a sucker MC, and you get beat down running your mouth, but all the y'all still doubt that she is super. Jeannie, Jeannie, she ain't a sucker MC, and you get caught out frontin', and you know it's gonna get you on.
It's been 3 weeks since you been looking for your friend, the one you let hit it and never called you again. Remember when he told you he was about to Benjamins? You act like you ain't him, they give him a little trim to begin. Now you think you really gon' pretend like you wasn't down and you called him again. Plus when you give it up so easy, you ain't even fooling him. If you did it then you probably can. Talking out your neck saying you're a Christian, a Muslim, sleeping with the jinn. Now that was the sin that did Jezebel in. Who you gon' tell when the repercussions spin? Showing off your ass cause you thinking it's a trend, girlfriend. Let me break it down for you again. You know I only say it cause I'm truly genuine. Don't be a hard rock when you really are a gem, baby girl. Respect is just the minimum. You still defending them now. Lauren is only human. Don't think I haven't been through the same predicament. Let it sit inside your head like a million women in Philly pen. It's silly when girls sell their souls because it's sin. Look at where you be in. Hair weaves like Europeans. Fake nails done by Koreans. Come again. Yo, a win-win. Come again. A win-win. Come again. To the man, more concerned with his rims and his Timbs and his women. Him and his man come in the club like hooligans. Don't care who they your fan, poppin' yang. Like you got yang. Let's not pretend. The one that pack pissed out by the waistman, crissed out by the casement. Still the name of his basement. The pretty face man claiming that they did a bid, man. Need to take care of their 3 and 4 kids. Been the face in court case when the child support's late. Money taking, heartbreaking. Now you wonder why women hate men. The sneaky silent man, the punk domestic violence man, the quick to shoot the semen. Stop acting like boys and be men. How you gon' win when you ain't right within? How you gon' win when you ain't right within? How you gon' win when you ain't right within? Come again. Yo, come again. The red drink, come again. And 6 drink, come again.
Why? The Q-double-E is the reason I must be myself. What else? Well, fame hasn't got me souped up, selling out sloppy or poppy. There's so much to live for. Therefore, here's more from a woman. All women, keep your rumors to yourself. The overblown, homegrown, non-known fools who never shown proof, let alone own a lot. The props or a hip-hop pop chart notch. All your clock is my spot. Now who got the mots? I do. Why you little played out attitude? I'm allergic to whack crews. The lie, the tea, the fur, the queen is up. Growing star that you never seen before. How dare those who talk, we can't have them. Some make me wanna go out with the bat and the magnum. But a wise, civilized, and growing higher. Judgments from the queen, punishment is the fire. I'm here to make these fools out of liars. You must learn to step and respect the sire. Fix the fire. Latifah's had it up to hear the frauds are feeling fear. The sound is playing like a Q-tip digging in your ear. Mama Zulu stands for positivity, knowledge, and grace. I'm never on my beast to them, I take it to your face. Open wide, you're hoping odds that I stop or maybe choke. Cause it's very hard to be while I has got you in a yoke. I caught you, thought I cut it short and no one's ever getting near. Latifah's had it up to here. Give it to a queen. Some of these commercial entertainers are commercially a pain to my mind and my behind trying to disdain her. Bumping me off because the queen has now reached a certain plateau. All I do is boo and say it's that so. Talk is cheap, and if talk got any cheaper, they be selling Nike tongues instead of sneakers. K, Sarah, blase, blah, etc. This is a scene from the Queen La. Lovely and lyrically loose, but ladylike. I'm too slick to slip or get tripped by the shady type. Chump shall talk and still wonder how loose I got. When I'm in town, I give the roosters booster shots. Brace, face, never waste your mind on a rhyme that'll get thrown in your front and face. I caught you, thought I cut it short, and no one's ever getting near. Latifah's had it up to here.
Give it to a queen. Give it to a queen. Give it to a queen.
Welcome back. We're live on Crown Confidential. Super excited to be here with you guys this evening. We're gonna get into it. So, Alex, super excited to have you here. So when did you fall in love with mental? I wouldn't even say mental. When did you fall in love with wellness?
Wow, that's a great question.
I know, that's why I asked you.
Yeah, no one has ever asked me that. When did you first fall in love with hip hop? I would say it comes and goes, but I would say when I fell in love with it was about a good 5 years ago, when I knew that it was time for me to just check in with myself. You know what I'm saying?
And what happened? Like, because that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
We see, yoga instructors, and we see people out here, like, doing head handstands and, like, around crystals and oil and all this other stuff. But, like, what was, like, the breaking point? Because there's always a breaking point that we reach, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, he's not going to cheat on me again, or I'm not going to allow him to use my credit card, right? It's like a breaking point that happens, or maybe it's a trauma. So share with us, like, what was that defining moment where you're like, nah, I'm not with the shits anymore?
Yeah. So, yes, trauma and all those things come into place. I think for me, I was in my late 20s, living my best life, but also a hot mess, right? I was experiencing a lot of, like, repeated patterns, right? I would go 10 steps forward and then go 10 steps back. I was experiencing depression and anxiety, and I really didn't know how to manage it. Like, I knew I was diagnosed with depression at 15, anxiety at 21, so I already knew about this. I just didn't know how to manage it. And I would fall into, like, a lot of depression. Like, things would go well, things would go left, and I will fall into this trap. And a friend of mine at the time was like, hey, like, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You're going 10 steps backwards, you take 10 steps forward, and you don't even know what it is that you're experiencing to identify that there's something going on. And that right there, like, I was a little offended because I'm like, what do you mean I don't know what's going on? Like, you're not me. Like, I know me, But I had to really stop and think, like, what is it that I'm experiencing? I had to get honest with myself. And like we were talking in the previous show, like, getting honest with yourself is very uncomfortable.
Yep.
It's very messy, and it's not the easiest thing for any of us to do, because we have to be honest with ourselves, and we have to put all our cards on the table, our strengths, our good things, and then our flaws and all those things, and learn how to have those things coexist. And so when my friend was like, listen, like, you're going backwards and you need to figure out what it is that's going on with you, I think you should go see medical professional help. And I'm like a therapist? No, I've done this when I was younger. This doesn't work. And, I had to stop and think about it. I had to take a step back and look at my life. And in my late 20s, I had just broken up with someone. That relationship was pretty toxic. But we were both toxic to each other, because we were both experiencing trauma, right? Where that we didn't know that it was trauma. We didn't know how to express ourselves and communicate with what we were feeling. And so what we would do is sugarcoat things or self-medicate. I know I was self-medicate, smoke weed, drink a lot, have a lot of sex. You know, the guy I was with at the time, he would basically like take me on vacation, buy me nice things, like if that was going to take away the fact that I was depressed.
Yeah.
That was going to take away that he was out there doing his thing, that was affecting our relationship. So reflecting on that, reflecting on my trauma, reflecting on, oh my God, my dad wasn't around. You know what I mean? That was another issue for me, because I was trying to figure out who I was as an individual. Learning that, you know, my mom did the best that she could with what she had to raise me and my sisters, and still me having something against my mother because she tried.
So at what point, and I love that, because you know the thing that we don't deal with, let's keep it 100, we don't deal with our mommy and our daddy issues well, and then we tell people to go F off when they're trying to support us with the what's next. And I've seen it, it's like, yo, you know, you're trying to have, you want to have a conversation, you're giving feedback, and then, you know, we take it personal. I was one of those people where you couldn't tell me what to do, how to do, when to do it. Like, I would take it, what you talking about? Like, what? But then I'm like, wait a second. I'm getting just as angry as my mother would.
Yeah.
And I'm acting the same way that's not responsible as my parents would. So at what point did you shift to serving yourself to then serving your community?
So after taking like my friend's feedback, I was like, all right, let me try this therapy thing out. And I did, and it was not the best process. You know, finding a therapist is not an easy walk on the park.
Yeah, definitely.
I went through, in that span of in the span of 10 years, I probably went through about 6 therapists.
And I just want to, and just to leave, I just want to say, do your research on your therapist, because what Alex is going to share with you is a great way, but then like it's just like a doctor or a teacher, or like we've had those teachers where you like, Ma, come up to the school before I punch this teacher in the face, right? Because what they're saying is not doesn't equal who I am. And or we have a doctor that tells us, hey, you have this, and then you go to another doctor and it's like, no. So really research, because I think within what you said, 10 years, you said 6 therapists, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I tell people, interview your lawyers, interview your doctors, interview like the people that care about you the most, right? The people that are going to take care of you the most, your doctors, your attorneys, interview them. You can interview them. People think, oh, I'm gonna, you know, people, especially in our Black and brown community, they're so afraid. They're like, interview a lawyer, how dare I? They got ish going on too, and just because they have an ESQ after their name doesn't mean that they're doing right by you. So you got to make sure that you are in quality. It's like a doctor. Oh, I'm just gonna let this person open me up. Have you checked his history? Has he had a lawsuit against him? Was he inebriated? It's just like the same thing with like now what they're doing with pilots. They're making sure that you're not drinking X amount of hours before the job, because then you're drinking and flying, right? And it's you know, all those things. It's like we get to interview the people that come into our circle. So I love the fact that you said that you went through that, right? And so as you were going through therapy, tell us some of the things that you discovered.
So going through therapy for me was hard, because I had to face my shit. I had to face things that I was not willing to admit to myself. I had to face my emotions. Like during therapy, I would cry a lot during therapy, like to the point where it hurt to cry. Like it was very painful, and I just didn't know what that feeling was, because for me, I never really used to cry. And like one thing about me is that when I did cry, I would cry in my own privacy. Never really like people don't see me cry. So I learned how to cry and be okay with crying, and learning that crying is actually healthy. Not only are you cleaning your eye ducts, you're actually releasing the pain, the trauma, all of these things that don't serve you as an individual. You need to release the pain. And pain works too. You're supposed to feel pain because you know that you're human. So I discovered that I can actually cry, be okay with crying in front of someone. It's okay to look messy. I think that when I'm crying and messy, I am beautiful, and I'm my most beautiful form. You know, to allow someone to see me vulnerable to me was the most beautiful thing I can actually experience for myself.
And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. I think that vulnerability, right? Coupled with knowing, because the thing is that what do they tell us? Like, my grandma's back. You crying? What you want, a tissue? Like, you know, she was just looking at me like, get over it. You know what I mean? Because the thing about it is, we come from a, you know, especially our Black Afros, we're coming from a Caribbean culture, right? Where it's like, get up at 5 a.m. I don't care how you feel, right? Go to work until whatever. I don't care if you in pain or whatever. I remember one of my grandmother's best friends, shout out to the plugs. She knows who she is. I'm not going to mention names. She was like, we used to give birth in the cotton fields, have our baby, and then keep moving. Like, y'all have, you know, 6 weeks of maternity leave. We had 6 minutes. We would have our baby. They would clip our baby out. Everything would come out, and then we had to go back to work. There was no in between. So I think that's that piece, too. We didn't get to acknowledge, like, excuses. There are no excuses when it comes to that. It's like, go to work and put a mask on.
Yeah, but that's unhealthy. That's unhealthy, and that causes the generational trauma.
So why do you think we put that? I want to know, why do you think that we continue to mask our pain?
Because it looks ugly to the world. That's why. I think that, going back to what you were saying, like, when you cry, like, you know, the way I was raised, my mom is Cuban, and she raised us to be like, you put on your big girl's panties and you keep it pushing. Don't let no one see you cry. Don't tell anyone your business. Don't let anyone that you're hurting, you're struggling. Only let people see the good things and the success. And I feel like I hear that, but at the same time, that's inauthentic. Like, you supposed to go through bad things, you know, and have that moment. I think that, you know, the no excuses thing, it's unhealthy. Like, it's unfortunate that you had to give birth and in 6 minutes go right to work, while now we have options. And, you know, I'm sorry for that, but I'm not at the same time, because it's awesome to be able to have those options. It's healthy, because you know what? Even with people that have 6 weeks off or whatever, they can still go into postpartum depression. You know, and then we don't know why. It's not because they have all the time in the world to take off, because they might be fortunate to take more than 6 weeks off and still have postpartum depression. Something happens. We're human. Something actually happens to you where you break, right? Things could be going well in your life and you can still break.
So what are some of the, for our listeners now, because we have a lot of different listeners, what are some of the telltale signs that you're I don't say you're suffering with mental illness, right? Because the thing is that we put a stigma on it, right? Because I know you're a stigma-free movement. Oh, boys are not supposed to cry. Girls are supposed to be strong. You know, we put these stigmas on, and then they stick with us, right? It's the generational stigma of, what do you mean go to therapy? Go talk to your aunt. You be all right, right? And then especially in the Caribbean culture, it's like, oh, I'm going to talk to my friend and get it out the way. And that's really it. So talk to us about, especially for our youngins that are listening, because I know that some of my youth, they listen, even though y'all supposed to be sleeping and studying for Regents tomorrow. Shout out to y'all, right? Talk to us about some of the signs and some of the symptoms that are, like, if I'm a mom and I'm watching my daughter and she's evolving, what are some of the signs, even for mom, right? What are some of the signs, and what are some of the things that we are going through that's like, hey, this is a red flag and I should really get support?
So yeah, some of the signs, if you're experiencing maybe depression or anything in that sense, is losing desire of the things that you love to do. So if you're a person that loves sports or loves cooking or being around a lot of people, when that starts to decrease, that's a sign that you may be experiencing depression. And I'm just saying depression because that's common, right? There's other mental health diagnoses like bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, like so many, it's unbelievable. Another symptom would be, you know, careless of your appearance. And so if you're not taking showers frequently, that's a sign. If you're someone that's always dolled up, dressed up, smelling good, now you're, you know, have BO, you're not really like taking care of yourself like you used to, those are signs that you are experiencing some depression in some sense. You know, those signs are very noticeable and sometimes they're not. You have people that are highly functional depressed. These are people that are always on the go, always grinding 24/7, always smiling, always there for you. Those people are going through depression more than likely.
Robin Williams, like
yes.
all these
So yes, the obvious symptoms are, you know, not taking a shower, you know, losing desire of what you want, having suicidal thoughts, or speaking about killing yourself. Like those are those signs. But then you have the signs that you don't see, right? The Robbie Williams and things like that. those are actually even more scary.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you don't see it coming.
Yeah.
And then you ask, oh my
Right.
God, but I didn't know they were going through that. So mental health doesn't have a face.
I also, so in this moment, we get to be real vulnerable before we get into our topic. I want you to share your story, right? Because I know that you often talk about, I don't even call it a breakdown, right? I call it a breakthrough because it was what was necessary. I would love for you to share with us your story, right? And really quickly about, what happened, right? Why it happened and what you got out of it. Because I think that the most powerful thing we could give to people in the art of storytelling is hope.
Yeah.
Right? Because the thing is that there's somebody out there listening right now who doesn't want to acknowledge where they are. They don't want to acknowledge what's happening to them. Me, I didn't know that I didn't know I was depressed until like 2 years later when I was dealing with stuff with my pops, and I'm at work. It wasn't even like gradual. I was just at work one day and I just couldn't stop crying. I'm like, why am I crying? It's because I didn't mourn my dad. I didn't, you go through the motions, you have the funeral, you bury, you have the repast, and then like a couple of days people are checking in, but then it's like weeks and months happen. It's like he's not here, there's a void, and then you're just in your feelings, right? As we say, in our bag, right? I didn't even want to acknowledge it because I was so busy pouring into other people that I didn't know I had to take a minute to pause and reflect, right? So there's somebody out there listening who is suffering. I wouldn't even say suffering, but they're battling it, right? And they're going through. They're in a really dark place and they don't know what their what's next is. So I would love if you share your story and share how you came out of it.
Yeah. So just to go backtrack, once I started seeing therapy, right? Because remember, it was a 10-year time frame where I had like 6 therapies. So once my friend brought that to my attention and I started seeing therapy, I was going through the motions, right? There was moments where I did not want to go to therapy, that I wasn't responsible and that I wouldn't go. And then there was time where I was just still not choosing to be responsible with my wellness, but still trying to do other things to support myself. And so, I was on and off with therapy. I was doing other things to support my wellness, such as like strengthening my practice with yoga, meditation, things that support me to keep center. But still, as I was doing that, I was still smoking, I was still drinking, I was still self-medicating. And so I was really facing a lot of demons. And so years went by and I was still committed to trying to figure it out, right? I felt a lot, I got up a lot. Fast forward, I chose, okay, let me start therapy. So 5 years ago, I consistently went to therapy every week. And that's when the healing started, right? That's when I started falling in love with wellness. That's when I started going to therapy. That's when I would commit to that. But I would still get depressed. I would still have anxiety attacks. And although I had certain systems in place to support me, my experience of depression and anxiety kept taking over me. And so although I, was advocating for people, although I was doing what I was developing to be who I am now and do what I do now, I was still going through it. And, fast forward, I really indulge in this lifestyle, right? I really say that I'm a mental health crusader because I'm on a quest to really harness my peace of mind and to support other people to do the same.
Yep.
And so through this process, a lot of great things were happening, and I learned that during happy moments, I can also be depressed. And that was another check-in, because now it's like, okay, is this self-sabotage or is this actually depression in a form of whatever?
Yeah.
And so fast forward in 2018, things were going different for me. I was going to actually relocate to DC. Things were looking very promising for me. But I was having trouble sleeping, which is not very normal for me because I'm a heavy sleeper. I sleep at a drop of a dime. But I was having trouble sleeping and I was feeling very fearful. And I know it was fearful around my transition and stuff, but I didn't understand what was going on. My mind was racing and my feet were planted on the ground. That my mind was racing so fast that I started having dark thoughts. And I was starting to have dark thoughts of committing suicide. Now, the thing is that I've the way I used to act before, like self-medicating myself, it was acts of wanting to kill myself, but not really being conscious of that. But being conscious now, I realized that I wanted to actually die. That I just wanted to leave this earth because my mind went off. Like my
what
mind
happened?
So my
definitely,
mind.
So share with us what happened.
So my mind was going off. I couldn't stop it. Like I've never felt my mind spin out of control. And I reached out to my therapist at the time, and I wanted a session, but you know, it was like she was giving me the runaround. You know, we had a session. I told her, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. Like having dark thoughts. I want to kill myself, and I don't understand why. She was like, oh, you're going through a transition, and maybe that's what it is, and you know, you're
and
going...
she dismissed it, right? Because I remember us having a conversation. So
and she was like,
you had reached out and you had said, and that's why I tell you folks to really check in with your mental health advocates and with the people who support you, because some people are there to collect hours, some people are there to collect a check, and some people are there to collect impact. And so she dismissed it at the time, and you were out there, and then what?
I was just like, wow, you know, this is what I'm experiencing. Like, shouldn't you take the proper protocol once someone tells you that they want to commit suicide? Like, that's like, all right, we're going to the hospital now. Like, it's not like, oh, but you're going through a transition. Like, my experience was she thinks I'm bluffing. But it also gave me more ammo to like be like, yo, I guess what I really want to do, I should do it. And, you know, at that time, I was 38 years old, right? 37. And, you know, I'm like, yo, what's going on with me right now? Like, this doesn't make sense. And so, I was like, wow, my therapist, she's just dismissive and whatever. And the next day, I woke up feeling extremely heavy to the point where I was very clear that I was going to do what I said I was going to do, which was end my life. I had a plan and everything. And so I, like, text my therapist and I say, hey, I woke up feeling 10 times worse. I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do. And her response was, hey, I'm in a meeting. What's going on? And I'm like, hey, like, I just told you. I said, look, if I don't get hit by a car, I'm going to check myself into a hospital. She goes, well, go check yourself into a hospital and call me back. And text me. I'm in a meeting. And so after that, I was like, you know what? This is not, like, I just felt like, damn, I can't even lean on my therapist right now. You know what I'm saying? All I know that right now I can just lean on God, but right now I don't even know if he's here because I'm bugging out. Like, my mind just went crazy. And so I did what I did. I took a shower. I took my time. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the bus into Manhattan from the Bronx. Like, I really was like, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to go get off the bus. I'm going to walk into traffic. I'm going to get hit by a car, and I'm going to end up at the hospital that I was born in, so that when my family and friends come, it's easy for them. They don't have to like figure out which hospital I'm in. And so what ended up happening so what ended up happening was that, you know, I was trying to get hit by a car and no car was hitting me. I had people come and say, ma'am, are you okay? Like, pushing me out the street. Cars would come and like stop right in front of me, and I would get upset because it's like, yo, like, I have a plan, and why is this not happening? But at that moment, I knew that there was purpose in my life. I always knew that I was walking in my purpose, but I knew that at that moment, it wasn't my time. And I knew that at that moment, that this wasn't me. My mind took over everything at that moment. And at that moment, I called someone that's a friend, and I was like, listen, this is what's happening. Like, I need you to support me to walk into this ER right now. And that person was able to support me to get into the ER, and I admitted myself to the psych ward for 7 days. And it was the best decision I ever made for my entire life. And that's when I knew that I fell in love with wellness on a whole other level, because I was able to actually be with my darkness in a way where I saw myself dying, and I also knew that I didn't have to. I also knew that I wasn't alone, although I felt alone. And I also knew that at that moment, I got to choose to be courageous and responsible over my life. And that's when I really decided, like, you know what? Refined Inner Being gets to go to another level, and I get to support people, not only around talk therapy, but really to implement other systems to support them.
So what would you, so right now we have people who are listening, right? Because it's great that you, like, listen, I was going to take my time. I was very, my
Mm-hmm.
process was very thought out. Like, I really wanted to kill myself. Like, I've been in that situation. I remember I've been through 8 cars since November. And I was in this, I'm in one of those hoopties, as we would say, and I was going over the Brooklyn Bridge. And I said to myself, if this car stops on this bridge, I'm going to just jump off. Like, I'm done, right? And then in that moment, I had my epiphany where I was like, wow, wait, if I do this, right? Because I was really like, even if I was going to stop myself, right? And I said to myself, damn, but I'm just thinking like 2,000 girls that I mentor would then come to my funeral pissed about the fact that I'm trying to save their life, right? And there's no end to the mean, right? And so what would you say to someone right now who's listening, who's like, oh my God, that story resonates with me, I need help. What are 2 or 3 tips, right, that you want to leave them with now to support them in their what's next?
Number 1, you matter. Your life is purposeful. So when you wake up in the morning and you open your eyes and you get out of your bed, no matter how you're feeling, you woke up for a reason. And that reason is not for you to end your life. That reason is for you to figure out how you can live your best life. And so know that you are purposeful. So when you wake up in the morning, say that I am purpose.
Yep.
Affirm that statement to yourself.
Yep.
Because no matter what's happening, you're supposed to be here. And you may not know why, but if you trust the process, and I know that's a cliche statement because it annoys me sometimes, but legit, trust the process. You're supposed to be here for a reason. So wake up, affirm I am purpose every day. The second thing is, I have a couple of more tips, but the second thing is really get yourself a therapist, a mental health counselor, a grief counselor, whatever that is. And trust yourself that you're going to make the best decision for yourself if you choose to see a counselor or therapist. Take your time, be graceful with yourself, right? Because you may not like your therapist, right? You may love your therapist.
Yeah.
You may go through a couple of therapists. You may not. You may find that one therapist and everything is great and it's a great partnership. But give yourself time. The great thing about therapy is that you could go to therapy and your session could be 45 minutes and you could legit just sit there and look at your therapist and not say one word, and that's your therapy session. And maybe for that day, you just needed silence.
Yeah.
Maybe next week therapy session, you going off. You going off of how much you hate your mother.
Yep.
Or you could go off on how much you hate yourself. And the next session could be, okay, what are the solutions we get to take from here, right? Because it's always about solutions, right? It's always about putting yourself in a plan so that you can prosper and live a good, responsible, healthy life. And so give yourself permission to step into that space of getting that support. And I'll definitely give you all my information so we can connect, and I'll give you some resources and you can find ways that you can actually work with me personally to get you to where you
So
want to
how
be
can
at.
they find you, right? Because I want to get into our next, I want to get into our topic before, we're going to close,
I have
right?
one more tip though.
Yeah.
Oh, so my last tip is surround yourself with positive people.
Say it again for the people
Surround
in the back.
yourself with positive people.
Yes.
Right? So not the people that tell you to get over your shit because you're sad or because you're depressed or because you don't want to get out your bed. Surround yourself with those people that are actually going to come to your house and help you take a fucking shower.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Those people that are lifting you up, that's going to call you to remind you to go to therapy, that's going to probably take you to therapy. Those people that are loving you gracefully with no judgment. And how you can get in contact with me, so many ways. You can contact me on Instagram at IamAlex.Tatis. That's IamAlexTatis. You can shoot me a DM. You can also go on my website where you can see a list of my services that I provide. I am not a therapist yet. I'm actually going back to school the ending of the month.
Angie, those are the horns. No, Angie, those are the horns.
Yes, so that yes. So I'm going back to school to finish what I started back in my 20s because my goal was to always be a therapist. And so the goal is to become a therapist and bring all my modalities of yoga, mindfulness, Reiki into the mix. So when you come see me for a therapy session, you're going to be in for a really healing experience besides just talk therapy. But in the meantime, if you're interested in private Reiki, yoga sessions, mindfulness, meditation sessions, I got you. You can email me at refinedinnerbeing@gmail.com, or you can book a consultational session on www.refinedinnerbeing.com. That's REFINEDINNER, B like boy, EING, at gmail.com, or you can book me on my website.
And what are your social media handles, Alex?
Oh, I already said that. So Instagram is at IamAlex.These, and Facebook is Alex.These, ALEXTATIS.
I love the fact that you were able to talk about how you revived your own life.
Yes.
Right? Because a lot of times what we don't understand is that we're not dead. There's a lot of life left in us, and if we're still here, we still have purpose. It's something that, like I said, I honestly, I felt like I met God this weekend. Like I had a full conversation with him in the span of, it was literally 15 seconds. And so what I'm feeling now, I feel the spirit, I understand. And for those of you that are not spiritual, you don't have to be spiritual to go to church, and you don't have to go to church to be spiritual. It's really finding that peace within yourself.
Yeah.
And so when we come back, you know, one of the things Angie and I want to talk about is wellness with our entrepreneurs.
Let's talk about it.
Right? And so we're going to have a really, really quick intermission, guys. We're going to listen to DJ KK for a minute or two, and we're going to come back, and we're going to end really powerfully and support you in some tips for those of you that are entrepreneurs, right? And really figuring out your what's next. And in addition, how to take care of yourself while you are in your business, right? While you're preparing your business, while you're having business plans and all that stuff. We don't have it all figured out, but we definitely want to share some tools and some tips with you. So it's Crown Confidential, and we will be back in a few, literally, in a few minutes, and we're going to share with you some tips and some tools on wellness and entrepreneurs. Thank you, Alex. Remember, I-am Alex, ALEXTATIS. Definitely follow her. She is an amazing individual, and we'll be right back, right, Angie? So we'll be right back with Crown Confidential. Definitely stay tuned.
Too. And that's why every time you see me, I got some new shoes.
Ay, look, I'm a star, got these niggas wishing. He say he hungry, this the kitchen. Yeah, that's my dog, he gon' sit down and listen. Call him a trick and he don't get a holler. I'm a star, got these niggas wishing. He say he hungry, this the kitchen. Yeah, that's my dog, he gon' sit down and listen. Call him a trick and he don't get offended. He know he giving his money to Megan. He know it's very expensive to date me. Told him go put my name on that account, because when I need money, I ain't tryna holler. He know he giving his money to Megan. He know it's very expensive to date me. Told him go put my name on that account, because when I need money, I ain't tryna wait. I can't be with, no, you can't touch this. Ayy, bitch, I do rich, my money thick, ayy, walk with a limp, I'm on some pimp ayy, he say you all about money, yeah, I'm on that cash, I'm in my bag, I'm on your I'm in that new, you on that last year, bitch, I do pimp you on simp ayy, he say you all about money, yeah, I'm on that cash.
She see money all around me. I look like I'm the man. Yeah, but I was down and out like last week. Tell me, where have you been? Yeah, came out of hiding, girl. Don't act like I'm your man. You just a fan. You don't hold rank. Don't hold no rank. Yeah. Really good with a sick mouth and a snake flow. Got up around me, and I'm playing when I'm coming for the kitty. Got my folk got it. Do it for my niggas and the ghost right there. Do it for my niggas and the ghost right now. Niggas got killed for the boy, living dreams in the hills, and they watching for the boy right now. Got what a time, what a year. We are what them young boys feel. I kill, never be killed. That's real, no lie. You can tell it from my peers right now. Don't you wanna f me now? Don't you wanna love me down? Girl, you can't tie me down like Ray J said, but no, I'm down. Freak it, nigga, show me something. Shake it like you owe me something. Push it on the like a button. 4 times, 5th time, you still getting rowdy in the function. So much like it's nothing. Everywhere I go now, always got bumping, jumping, yeah.
Hey, nice to meet. I'm young, hey, who you be? she Spanish. I fly her to Calabasas. We get nasty, I'm her daddy. She know a nigga ain't average. Ain't nothing wrong with fake. Just turn around, let's make magic. I'm geeking on her, I'm on it. Don't look at me like you want it. Tell them that we ain't starting it. Go up down, we ain't plotting it. King of District Columbia, can't come here without a permit. This really a jungle, gorillas and anacondas.
There's some money all around me. I look like I'm the man. Yeah, but I was down and out like last week. Tell me, where have you been?
Yeah. They ain't gonna like it. They ain't gonna like me. I be getting to the money. Everybody mad. I think I'm getting too much money. Everybody mad. The same old from the block. The same old with the pot. The same old from the trap. Everybody hated on them, then he bounced right back. I just spent a whole lot of time overseas. Doubling my money cause you know I want cheese. I've been in my hometown playing with the keys when they fell off the boat. Yeah, I'm talking about Belize. I know it's a whole lot of that was hating. I know it's a whole lot of that was taken. So I shut the up, feeling us. Always knew that I was sick, so I had to stay patient. Taking over summer, tell me what's the bid. Hurt you still cuffing, tell me what it is. You ain't paying no bills, buying no bags, buying no heels. Goddamn, let them live. All I see is 20s, 50s, 100s. If it ain't quarter mil, the whip, I don't want it, but to make it
turn around, get all the way up, bust it down, turn around. Look, let's get it straight, girl. You don't need a nigga for nothing. Looking better every day.
Welcome back to Crown Confidential, folks. We told you we were coming back quickly, live and direct. We got Miss Ange, we got Miss Alex. I want to get straight into our topic. It's about entrepreneurship and wellness. One of the things that we don't talk about as entrepreneurs is how we get to take care of ourselves. So, Angie, share with us what you think, because, Happy Elephant, which is Angie's skincare line, don't get it twisted. She's relaunching in February 2020. Did I just declare that for you, sis? But you did. What I do know is that oftentimes we practice guilt, we practice shame, we practice hate, but we don't practice love and self-love and really take care of ourselves. And like that thing where, I was talking to my producers, like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, no matter if I just went to bed at 1, right? Doing what I got to do. Even if I walked in the door at 2:45 in the morning, getting up at 5 to go and do my 9 to 5, right? So, talk to us about what entrepreneurship and wellness means to you, Ange.
Well, I've been a strong believer that sometimes you have to be selfish, and I always change the definition of selfish. To me, selfish is deemed as something negative, but in my view, it's negative because you're not doing what other people want you to do for them. So when you say no to something that someone asks you to do, or, someone says, can you just, give me this product? And you're like, no, this is a business. Like, you could pay me for the product. Oh, you're being selfish. That's not fair. But how am I being selfish when I'm literally protecting myself?
Yeah.
So I always change the definition of what that means to being, I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to make sure that my mental health is where it needs to be. So I'm not going to jeopardize my well-being for profit.
Yeah.
Because I know it's going to come when it's supposed to come, but I'm going to do it in the way that I'm supposed to do it. And if that takes however long that takes for me, then I know I've done it in a clear head, in the time that I'm supposed to do it. Especially in skincare, I have to make sure that I cross all my I's and dot all my T's. Because the last thing I want to do is be sued because someone caught a rash from putting my face cream on.
Mm-hmm. And I love that.
And be known as something that's not healthy or organic.
Yeah, and I love that because for me, entrepreneurship and wellness, in the beginning when I was starting my journey, I was like, oh, I'm going to be up till 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm just going to be okay. And then like I would be up till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, go try and facilitate. And by like 1, 2 o'clock, I wanted to throw up because I didn't get any rest, right? And then I would say, oh, no, I'm going to sacrifice and I'm just going to, and I get it because they're, in the beginning, one of the things that my old coach taught me is like, no matter what you got to do, you got to stay up. You got to. And I'm like, wait a second. There's a difference between being a hustler and being in alignment. Being a hustler is going out there and knocking on all the doors and chasing the bag till you can't no more. And then being in alignment is allowing those contracts and those things to come to you naturally, right? When you're ready.
Right.
And I had to like realize like me, because I remember I did this for like, it was like a good 2 weeks where I was up till 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then I would like go to bed till 1. I would miss the whole day, right? Because people were trying to call me. So I would miss the whole day of work. And now at like 6 o'clock, now I'm like returning emails and calls when everybody's done. And I was just living a really unhealthy lifestyle where I was just, you can stay up late at night and drink water and eat grapes, all that great stuff, but not me. Like I was eating pizza and carbs and things that weren't supporting me and then sleeping on that. And then I was drinking and sleeping on a full stomach instead of letting our body digest, because 80% of your body's energy is exerted in digestion. Believe it or not. I didn't know that. I was like, oh, wait, I didn't know that. And the other 20. So when we're fasting, our body is really at its peak when it comes to energy because it's really out there doing what it's supposed to do versus digesting what's in our body. And so for me, entrepreneurship and wellness last year really meant taking time out and not doing what everybody else is doing, because I'm like, oh yeah, she's up till 6 in the morning and she's getting results. No, your body needs rest, sis. Like your body absolutely needs rest, and without the rest, you're not able to really be the person that you want to be the next day, right? Because let's be real. After 24 hours or 48 hours of not sleeping, we're cranky and we're hangry. Right? Where we are cranky, right? And you know me and you, Ange, right? Like we're hangry. Right? Angie's like, where's the next meal coming from? Yeah. Because Angie and I have done this. We've been up, right? Remember when we used to go out to Patchogue in our office, right? In Long Island, and we would be up for 48 hours developing curriculum. Was that healthy for us? No, but we thought that was the shit at the time, right? And so for me, entrepreneurship and wellness really came to a point where it's just the simple thing. The simple thing for me was just getting a straight 7 hours. It wasn't 8, right? I'm not trying to be optimal. I'm at least trying to get 6 or 7 hours so that I can rest my body so I can be better the next day. So for me, that's what entrepreneurship and wellness means to me. So Alex, what does entrepreneurship and wellness mean to you?
Well, entrepreneurship is really, what it means to me is going for your purpose and refining what that looks like moment to moment. Not worrying about what other people think, right? It's having this idea of something that people think is crazy, but there's a purpose for it. Wellness is you, simply you. And also know that your wellness, if your wellness is not on point, it does, not only does it affect you, it does affect others around you. And so for me personally, my peace of mind is priority. And so if I'm not in alignment with what I'm doing purposefully, then I'm not going to do it. It may cost me money, it may cost me relationships or whatever, but if my mind is not clear, like Angie had mentioned, her making products, not being in a clear mind can cause her a lawsuit. And that's the thing, that as entrepreneurs, we think that we have to be grinding 24/7, and what happens is you start to slip. And although we do make mistakes, those mistakes can cost you a lawsuit. And so for me, my peace of mind is it reigns supreme. It's top priority. And so, if you're not well, your business can't do well.
So what's the biggest mistake that we make? What's the biggest mistake that we make as entrepreneurs in relation to our wellness, right? So what do you think is the biggest mistake that we make, Alex?
The biggest mistake is the idea that you have to be hustling 24/7
Got it.
to be successful. That's untrue. That's untrue. If you choose to, great. And I'm not saying that the people that do that are not successful, but then you're burned out, and then you're unhappy, and then what?
Yep. Angie, so what do you think is the biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make in relation to their wellness?
Being inauthentic with yourself. I think is the biggest mistake you can make. Not being true to, like, I need a break. Like, no, I could do this. I could do. No, if you need a break, you need to take that break. It's okay to take that break for your mental health. Because what is going to end up happening is you're going to end up presenting this business of yours or this passion, and that's the worst thing you can do for an entrepreneurship. Because then, what's the point of you even having that business anymore if you no longer love what you do?
I think that one of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make is that they feel like they're leaving money on the table. Money's going to come, sis. I think that it's like, okay, oh my God, I put in $100,000 and I'm never going to see it. No, you're going to see it back, right? As long as you manage that well. I think the other piece is, and this is a story that it relates back to my dad, is not going and seeking support. Like, support is out there. Support wants to be there to support you. It's a matter of letting it in. I remember, speaking to people that said that we're going to support me. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. And then it's like, wait a second, I'm really not. Let me lean in, right? Even with Alex, I'll say, I'm good. And then me and her will, meet up and we'll have like a 6-7 hour day where we're just venting to each other. And it was like, wait, I really wasn't good. I get to lean on my friend, my confidant, and also our director of mental health and wellness for support, right? And I think it's really identifying that we do need support and we do get to have people plug in those holes. I think that that's one of the things. My last question, and I want to go around. What are some of the wellness masks, right? What are some of the things that we're as entrepreneurs that you think that we're hiding behind, right? Because we're always like, oh, it's gonna be perfect, it's gonna be okay. But what do you think are some of the things that we're hiding behind that's not allowing us to get the support that we need?
I think entrepreneurs and people in general, they hide around time. Like, oh, I don't have time for this. Oh, I don't have the time for this. I have to do this because of this. And I think that's bullshit, because the way technology is built now, the way how convenient life can be, you can, for example, if you want to work with me, right? If you want to straighten your meditation practice or learn how to meditate, to guest center, to practice yoga, or any of those things, we can do this over video Zoom. In the comfort of your own home. You can be laying in your bed and we can do a meditation, a guided meditation while you're laying in your bed. And we won't be on the phone no longer than 25 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And entrepreneurs always makes this thing like, oh, I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time for this. And it's like, you have time to network. You have time to go to these business meetings, but you're forgetting about the most important person, which is yourself. And so we hide around time. Oh, I'm busy. You ain't fucking busy. Say you're productive, but busy. Everyone's busy.
Yeah.
If that's the case, even the most laziest person is busy being lazy.
I mean, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that busyness, that time thing is an excuse, is a mask. And again, if you want to work with me on how to create time for you to get better so you can be a better entrepreneur, contact me at refinedinnerbeing@gmail.com.
I love that. So, Ange, what do you think it is?
For me, I think it's behind the mask of everything is good.
Oh.
Everything is perfect.
You're going to make me throw the mic. Yes.
And behind closed doors, you're falling apart. Your office looks like World War III blew up in there. You can't find nothing. You have 55 orders and no supplies.
Ooh,
right?
Yes.
But everything is great. Everything is good. And when people say, oh, do you need any help? No, I got it. I'm good. It's just behind that perfection, of, yeah, I got this, when in reality you don't. And it's okay to seek support and to get support from people that are willing to support you.
I think that we hide behind the, I got it. I got it, right? No, I'm good. I got it. I could carry these 37 bags. One of the things that I got it mask I found in my relationship was like, oh, I'm an independent woman of the 90s. I don't need you. I don't need you.
Right.
But it's not being. It's about learning the difference between independence and interdependence. Independence is not going to get you nowhere in your businesses, right? It's really relying on people. Like for me, I remember in the beginning of Hey There Beautiful. Oh, I could do the graphic design work. We can do the food. We can do everything. We could do everything, right? But mind you, I remember having an event and my VP of finance, who should have been in the front of the door collecting tickets and waving to people, was making empanadas, right? My director of marketing and research was making a watermelon. Like it made no sense because I had people in these roles, but I needed to be in control of what it looks like, and it fucked us up because for the first 3 years we didn't make no money. We lost money. All that money we hemorrhaged, literally. Oh yeah. I remember we had like a cake platter. It was so big for me for everything to be in glass. I was not, instead of like, oh, I could hire somebody outside who has all these supplies. No, everything has to be glass. And then when something broke, I flipped my shit. Because I'm like, but that's inventory, right? That's $25. And I had to have everything that we had, right? We drank out of glasses. We ate out of glass. I didn't care what it looked like because I wanted it to be real high end. But now my board of directors is like, nah, I'm dipping because you have a vision to impact people, but it don't gotta be like this. It could be plastic forks and paper plates, but it had to be, right? And so it was this idea of what's really the vision and what's really the mission that's driving you, because this ain't working. Make sense? And so let's wrap really quickly. Let's leave our listeners with one tip, right? With wellness. And I know Alex has a million tips, right? But let's leave our listeners with the one tip that's going to propel them, and then we're going to close out. So I'll start with you, Angie.
It's okay to be selfish. It's okay to take the time that you need to get right mentally, spiritually, whatever that you want to get right with, and then move along so you can have a bigger and better entrepreneurship.
I love that. Alex, what do you want to leave our listeners with? The one thing, because it's the other piece. They can also reach you at refinedinnerbeing@gmail.com.
I mean, I would say come to me first. Because I'll lead you to the promised land. I'll lead you to all the good mental health resources and also ways that you can work with me personally. Instagram at IamAlex.these, website www.refinedinnerbeing.com, email refinedinnerbeing@gmail.com. So definitely reach out to me. I'll support you with all those resources. What I would say is deepen your spiritual practice, whatever that is. So whether you believe in God, Christ,
say that again.
Deepen your spiritual practice, whether you believe in God, Christ, Allah, Buddha, love, Durga, you get to really connect with that source because God provides. And when shit gets shaky, God provides. Because let's think about it, people. When miracles happen, when you go through something, you be like, oh my God, I would have never thought I could get through that. That was not you. That was someone bigger than you, and that's God. And I'm gonna leave you guys out with this. Definitely contact me at IamAlex.these. And I get this message from my sister every day via email. It's from a Daily Word, a Unity publication. And today is, MLK Day. And the topic is character. And it says, you can insert whatever God is to your understanding or the word love. I express the Christ within through my character. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. declared the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moment of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. How do I compare? I choose to be steadfast in my beliefs, whether my life is peaceful and happy or filled with trials. I know that there is divine spirit within me that can definitely handle any challenge. Therefore, my strong, unwavering faith shows forth through my character no matter what is happening. My commitment to fully express my spiritual nature inspires those around me. I display the very best of myself through my character. It is easy for me to let my light shine when I stay connected to God's light within me. A passage from Matthew 5:16. It says, in the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16. And so if you believe in the Bible, if you're not, I think that what I've read is self-explanatory, and it could resonate whether you're religious, spiritual, or atheist. Deepen your spiritual practice, entrepreneurs, mental health crusaders, people in the world. If you right now want to give up on your life, deepen your spiritual practice. Get yourself a good therapist. Surround yourself with people that love you and support you, and contact me at refinedinnerbeing@gmail.com. I will support you with all the resources that you need. We can work personally together to create a self-care regimen so that you can live your best life. Not only you entrepreneurs, but for you, everyone that's listening, that's watching.
I love that. Thank you, Alex. I just want to leave my entrepreneurs who are looking for a better way to support them around wellness. For me especially, stop denying yourself of the goodness that is wellness. Because when you feel better, you act better, your customers feel better, they want to come and support you more, right? It's a 360-degree circle that comes from you saying and declaring, you know what, I'm going to get better so that my clients are better, so the people I serve are better. Because the thing is that we beat up on ourselves, and this is me talking as a plus size queen, as somebody who's seen it all, as somebody who's releasing weight, is that I find that the hardest part is not releasing the weight, is not acknowledging. It's really like letting support in, because letting support in looks like love, letting support looks like trust, letting support in looks like you have faith, right? And really caring for yourself. Because I shared with you guys that I had this really I had a near-death experience, and that the worst thing that you want to do is say that you didn't give it your all that day because you weren't caring for yourself. And so one of the worst things that we could do is deny ourselves the right to wellness and the right to our freedoms, which is really being cared for by other people, because that's a freedom. Like, a lot of people don't understand that outside of the United States, we don't get that. You know what I mean? We don't get the things that we need to be treated for. I remember there was a friend of mine who needed surgery in a third world country and had an issue on a Friday and couldn't get the surgery that they needed because they didn't have the piece, because the place was open on Monday. So the place closed on Friday, and they had to wait until Monday to get the piece to have this like life-saving surgery. And so you're no good to your client. Like, you could be selling T-shirts, but if you wrap that T-shirt up with an attitude, I guarantee your client is going to receive it that way.
Yes.
And
I have something to say about that. Yes, it is very important how you choose to show up. Now, we know that the entrepreneurship journey is not easy, and business can start off slow. It can run really fast. You might have your ebbs and flow, right? But if you stay connected to that purpose, you will be all right. But what's important is I'm also a certified yoga instructor, and so if I'm not feeling well that day, I'm not teaching.
Yep.
And because if I'm holding space for people to practice their practice with me, I'm gonna teach a whack-ass sequence. The yogis may or may not see that I'm not doing well, and I'm not going to give them 100%. How selfish of me to show up in a space where I'm not feeling well and I'm supporting people in their practice or facilitating their healing, and I'm all a hot mess.
Speak on it.
And mind you, healers, we also go through shit.
Yeah.
All right? Spiritualists also go through stuff. So let's stop leaning on these people to give us the answers.
Or putting you on a pedestal like you got all the answers and your life is okay.
Don't put me on a pedestal. Because first of all, I keep it authentic 24/7. So if you put me on a pedestal, thank you. But don't put me on a pedestal.
Exactly.
I'm not taking the pressure, because at the end of the day, I only know I can do my best, and I don't have the answers.
Yep.
I just have resources. I have experience. I have life stories to share. I know what it's like to rise from the ashes of a phoenix, but I don't have all the answers. The goal is to help you get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
You have to choose that.
Exactly. And that's really choosing yourself. And so I want to end this, I really want to end this really powerfully. And I just want to say, for all of you that are listening, here in the room, outside of the room, it's really hard for me to say this, but I want to say that everyone comes to me, and I'm giving away the answers here, and I could care less. everyone comes to me as a coach and they think that I have the answers and they think that I have the things that are going to make them and they're going to break them. Like, you have everything that you need inside of you. You don't have to take that course. You don't have the 37 certifications that you have are not going to serve you tomorrow. Really listen to your body, right? If you're tired, take a nap, sis. If you are, if your body is telling you that it needs some healing, bro, go and rent a room at Westchester, right? It's $97 or $77 during the week for you to sleep for one whole day, right? Where, oh, let me hold on to my vacation or whatever. Yo, that vacation may not be there for you. I have someone really close to me who, if they retire right now, they have 7.5 months or 8 months of vacation until their retirement will kick in. And I said to myself, what if you retire and the next day you die? Like, I literally, whoever your maker is and whoever you think your maker is, whether it's God or it's Allah or I saw that person this weekend, and that person told me that no matter what I do, everything's going to be okay and I'm in the right hands. So I say all that to say that trust yourself and trust your process. You're exactly where you want to be. That FOMO, fear of missing out, is just something created. Just because Rebecca is in Cancun at 37 living her best life with her billionaire boyfriend doesn't mean that that's where you're supposed to be. And so you are exactly where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to do. Just acknowledge your experience, because once you get to the top, it's fun. It's fun and games. Right now, it's that place where you're cleaning up house and you're trying to figure out stuff. And it's not about being a millionaire. It's not about having the money. It's about being in a place where you're peaceful. Because 9 times out of 10, my clients don't want money. They're looking for freedom. And so if you're looking for freedom, the freedom is within yourself first. Because no matter how much money comes in, no matter how many accolades, I could park up 37 Escalades in front of your house. Look at Robin Williams. He had everything in front of him, right? Anthony Bourdain, who I loved. And they just weren't happy on the inside. So really check yourself, right? So that you can support yourself in your what's next. And my entrepreneurs, the magic is going to happen at your own pace. It's not going to happen tomorrow because you bought 37 units of Mary Kay. It's not going to happen. Oh, everybody else is traveling and I'm supposed to do that. So I want to just say things are going to happen when they're supposed to happen. Miss Ange down in Tampa, I want to thank you for being here.
Yay,
Alex. Alex, I want to thank you guys. Yeah, this was a little bit more of a serious show, but you get to get what you need out of it, right?
Yes.
Get what you need. Not everything's going to hit you. Get what you need out of this. And I'm telling you, like, yo, I couldn't imagine somebody having to tell, my producer, like, I'm not here Monday because I'm not here. I couldn't imagine not coming from where I came from, and on Monday people are trying to make my funeral arrangements. I couldn't imagine it. Couldn't imagine. But the shit really went down this weekend, right? And I just will say, like really be in tune with yourself, and also know, we don't have the time that we have. Yo, enjoy the ride. Enjoy making your logo. Enjoy going to get your hair done. Enjoy the time with your kids. Like, we don't know how long we have, right? Enjoy this ride that you have. I want to thank my really great friends, Janet. I want to thank Angie and Alex and Keisha. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you, Jason. Prophet, thank you for being here. Greg, thank you for being back here. Durga, for coming in and supporting. Like, it's really been real for me, guys, in the last 72 hours. And I will say, like, yo, enjoy your lives, yo. Like, really enjoy squeeze everything. You know how you squeeze an orange, but there's still some more in the back? Like, squeeze everything you can out of life, because you never know. And I just want to thank my maker for allowing me to hit these airwaves and support you guys with the what's next. I love you guys. And I want to leave you with this. I got this beautiful card from a friend of mine that said, when there are no words, know that the silences are carrying the thoughts and prayers of all who love you. And that was by Dawn Days. And it couldn't have come that card couldn't have come at the most perfect time. And so really enjoy your lives, folks, because you never know when it could be taken away from you. I could have been here in a wheelchair. There could have been a lot of different scenarios that panned out for me, but I had the grace and the mercy of the people and the angels that were looking around me. And so I will say is, like, really enjoy your life. Like, y'all are too busy complaining about the stuff that don't go right. Appreciate the stuff that does go right, right? And so check in on yourself, check in on the people that love around you, and really check in with your circumstances to make sure that that love is pure, that's coming through. Alex, I want to thank thank you. I am Alex Tatis, Tatis. Definitely check us out. Check us out at Crown Confidential on IG. Definitely this Wednesday, January 22nd, we'll be at the Barclays Center. We're going to be hooping it up with Varsity Customs. Shout out to Bernard Totten. Shout out to the Tottens in the building, because that is a great billion-dollar empire. I'm so excited for what you guys have next. Thank you so much for being in tune. We're going to leave you with some tunes from DJ KK. And we're going to end this show really, really powerfully. Thank you guys for being here. Angie, you can hit him with the horns.
What? I can hit him with the horns?
I said, Angie, you can hit him with the horns. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in, for being in the building. We'll see you next week, Monday, with another special guest and some really powerful stuff. Make sure that you hug your loved ones and tell them that you love them. Take care, guys. This is Dalisha shining out on Crown Confidential, and we out. Crown Confidential 2020.
Got that Benjamin Button, claiming he don't got no girl, you know niggas be frontin'. You don't need no bitch coming. A woman, ayy, and you a boss, so you hate when niggas waste time. You too pretty to be paused on the FaceTime. Damn, I'm just stating the facts. You hate that like you hate when niggas tell you relax.
You mean relax?
You want something more than just physical. It been a while since you met someone original. You spend your time drinking wine in your living room. All that good, can't find the one to give it to. It's a shame. You see me, see the squad, it's a game. You see him, it's a bum, it's a lame. But it's a difference between me and what's his name. I swear to God,